What up, chicken butt?
What up, chicken butt?
Good morning.
You have to say up, dog.
What's up, dog?
Yeah.
One of the best cold opens of The Office. I swear to God, I'll go one episode without talking about The Office ever. Is Jim does that joke and it lands perfectly, and then Michael goes around trying to do it to everyone. It's the worst thing ever.
I love it.
This went better though.
What?
I said this went better though.
Oh, this did go better.
That went
Yeah.
better.
Anyway, how's your morning going?
It's pretty good. Welcome to Disrespectfully
With Katy Maloney
and Dayna Kathan.
Unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
I stayed up a little too late scrolling and I knew I was tired, but I knocked. But this morning, I usually try and dry my hair now and not sleep with wet hair. It's better for it and it just makes it more manageable. And when I let it air dry, I look like a jellyfish because my real hair that's fried 50% down the way comes up like this. And then my extensions I look like a less David Bowie in the Labyrinth.
Nice.
So it's really scary to look at. So I woke up late and I had to do that. And I was like, oh, we're doing a slick back pony today because that is my only option to get here remotely on time.
Yeah, I wake up with I look like Lyle Lovett.
Who's I'll love it. I'm sure I'll know who that is.
Really?
Let me Google it.
Yeah. He had this like really very tall hair. Because I have like some shorter layers on the top right now that when I sleep, just immediately and I have this like weird like cowlick in the back of my hair. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I feel like I look like when I wake up. It goes vertical. Anyway, but yeah.
How's your morning besides your Lyle
I woke up
essence?
at 4:58.
For fun or just because your body did that
I was
too?
feeling a little warm and then I had to pee. And normally I can just go back to sleep pretty fine.
Mhm.
But I would say 1 out of 5 times I don't. And then it wasn't awake. That's the thing. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just awake. I want to sleep more, but I'm awake. I'm alert. I want to get up. This time, no. I was stuck in that like, I'm so tired and so lethargic. I feel a little slow.
Well, Nick's an early riser too, isn't he?
Yeah. Well,
What time does he get up?
He got up at 5. He goes to the gym in the morning like that.
Are you ever awake before him?
Rarely.
Okay, because here's the thing. We all know that I have yet to find the love of my life and we'll TBD. But I can't sleep with almost anyone. So even me and my sister in Santa Barbara, because when I frequently wake up, first of all, it's either Matthew Perry or Julia Fox. And it's sometimes I'm like, I can't do nights because I'm like, how am I supposed to introduce them when he's like talking about his opioid addiction? And that's what lulls me to sleep. So I have to like listen to that and have my white noise machine, and I can have no movement or hear any breathing from the other person, and they cannot touch me. But then also sometimes when I wake up and I have to give up and I have a scroll,
Yeah.
I'm so worried about waking them, even with the light that's blaring in my face, even at the dimmest setting. So I'm really up against it. But
But I feel like when it's somebody that you really love and care about, like you don't mind the sound of their breathing.
no, in any relationship, I hate the sound of their breathing. But you know,
Okay.
we'll see.
Shit.
I don't know.
I would be the same way, but it's like, but when it's that person, I'm like, I don't know. I don't snore in my face. I don't care.
Well, if someone is going to love me, they're going to have to embrace that. My kooky sleep
True.
style. Me and Brittany were talking about it, and she was like, I don't know. I feel like with the right person, at some point you'll fall into a groove and it'll be
Yeah.
okay. But right now it feels scary, and I hate sleeping with other people.
I'm just saying, you're gonna surprise yourself. I have a feeling. And I feel like hopeful for you for that too, because it's a nice feeling just to kind of like drift to sleep next to somebody and like not have to like, and not being the world of TikTok.
You're generally right about things. Do you still feel like I'm going to find my person?
Of course.
You feel hopeful about that?
Yes,
I believe
do.
you when you say it.
I 100% believe it. And
Okay.
I feel like it's soonish.
Okay, great. Well, I've had many psychics every year for the past 3 years tell me I'm going to meet my person, and it just doesn't happen.
The
So
way
we'll
you
see.
talk about dating, the way you approach, I don't know. It's very different than what I've seen in the years past where you're like, you're not apathetic about it. Where you're kind of like, I feel like it used to just be more present
So
in
Gabby,
your mind.
Gabby Bernstein has, I feel like I've talked about her before, one of my favorite books of all
Mhm.
time, The Universe Has Your Back. But I've read most of her books, so highly recommend. But she has a phrase called Manic Manifesting, and I definitely used to do that.
Mhm.
So, and it was coming from a place of being so desperado. And I said before, I've been beaten into submission, so I'm just kind of whatever. But we'll see.
I just think when you get to that place, and when you stop looking for it, when you least expect, I hate that, but it's kind of right because you're not over romanticizing every person you meet and every situation you have and every meet cute that you encounter in your life. You're just sort of like, whatever. I think that's a good place to be, personally. I don't know. I feel that way. Anyway, I mean, I still listen. Falling asleep, even though like I'm in love and I fall asleep next to somebody I love. Sometimes I'm not like quite ready because Nick also likes to go to bed at like 8. If he could, he'd be in bed at like 7:30 every night.
That's like my sister. She turns into a pumpkin at 9 o'clock
and
on the
listen,
dot.
I do too. When I get up early, like I cannot last. 8 o'clock is real. It feels like 2 o'clock in the morning. But so there'll be times where I'm not quite ready to go to sleep. So I just tell him I'm like, I'm gonna lay over and read my bedtime stories, which is when I go on Reddit and read like Am I the Assholes and like, passenger on airline drama.
Do you seek that? Okay, so I just downloaded the Reddit app.
Yeah.
Never been a Reddit person. People will send me stuff and sometimes it's 18 or older and you have to have the app. So I've missed out on things. Do you go on there and is it a feed that is curated kind of like Instagram to things you like, or do you seek out Am I that? Well, how does it work?
It will start feeding you things that you naturally search out on there. Like there's a subreddit for literally everything. Ghost stories, if you want to read that kind of stuff. And then as you've like searched certain things, then it starts feeding you a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't know.
Subscribe to them. Okay.
Well, yeah, you can subscribe. Yeah, but I don't know. I go on the homepage and I'm,
Taking a look.
yeah. And sometimes you're like, why am I being fed this? It calls you out, but it's fine. I don't know. I sometimes reading helps me more than just like watching TikToks. And also it's not as noisy.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say I'm being currently trolled on my FIP, my For You page. I'm being assaulted with
What?
Katy Perry's opening night of her tour. Look.
Okay.
Look.
What the was that?
Look. I swear to God, I'm not trying to be a Katy Perry hater after her kooky Daisy through space kissing the ground situation.
Yeah.
But objectively, at that caliber of performance and the money that people are paying for that show, if you have not seen it, go look it up. It was the most lowbrow. It gave Mariah Carey when she was like, it's like, yes, girl, give us nothing.
Give us nothing.
It was so low energy. And I understand the concept of it is she's supposed to be going through this video game and fighting people. She's like fake with a saber fighting Timu Sith Lords. And then they're like, she'll like bonk one and it'll fly slowly to the ceiling. And it is just so cringe.
No, when they like she had two people on both sides of her arms like lift her up and she kind of did this weird jump. It was the most awkward thing I've ever seen. I don't know. Here's the deal with Katy Perry. She has the appeal of a spoon. she does not do it for me at all. Like she's like a butter knife.
But she's so beautiful too. So it just does not make sense.
She's attractive.
Oh, I think she's gorgeous.
I'll say that.
That's
not, she's not my type.
And are her and Orlando Pantaloons still dating?
Yeah, they're married.
They have a child, right?
They're married.
Oh, okay, they're married.
Yeah.
Floor, since you're listening, hi. I went to hers and we started our Lord of the Rings journey, and I think she was kind of mad at me. She's not, but I'm still. My headache came back, and it was, and so it wasn't because
I didn't say goodbye.
I did say goodbye, but we're only 2 hours in. I will say I was interested. If I had not had a headache, I would have been down to finish. So I would like to watch it, but Orlando Pantaloon with a wig is in there.
I never need to watch that movie again. Any of those movies, I've seen them once, and it's time I'll never get back.
Well, I like them, but I did have to ask so many questions, but she was like down to help me through that. But yeah, I'm sorry. Harry Potter's better. I do.
That's a hot take in today's days. Well, with J.K. Rowling making an ass of herself once again.
Oh, let's be very fucking clear.
Can someone tell her to log off?
Hate J.K. Rowling, always in the basement. Her transphobia turf bullshit is so gross, but unfortunately, I do love Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is better. And also Harry Potter Land at Universal Studios, absolutely fun. Give me a butterbeer and a fucking wand.
Do you know what I want? Because I think it's at the Florida one. It's like Hagrid's train or something. I would like to go on that because the big Harry Potter ride here makes me queasy.
I love it. It stretches my back out.
No, it makes me so nauseous because I'm literally hit 32 and all of a sudden car rides did not work for me anymore unless I was in the front seat. There's parts of it I have to close my eyes because I am about to hurl.
Oh, I love it. Can we spin me all the way around? I took my mom on that ride and she hated it. I was like,
she was scared or queasy?
Scared. She thought it was
Oh, Terry.
But I took her on the Mummy too, and she didn't really enjoy that one, but I think she liked that more than Harry Potter.
Okay, is there still the Jaws ride?
No, it's the studio tour.
Yeah, where the shark jumps out.
Yeah,
I think it's gone. I've never gotten to do it.
Why? It's on the studio tour.
Oh,
you got to sit through a bunch of bad jokes. Some tour guide is, and then you got to go through the whole studio, and then you go through the set, and the Jaws thing is there. It's so now you see it, you're like, oh.
No, that would be whimsical That would be whimsical for me. It's one of my favorite childhood movies.
I know,
and I
but-
obviously love sharks, so I'd love to do
But
it.
when I remember going and seeing that, and that was like in the commercial they had for it, made it seem like this big shark comes out. It's like, oh, you're kind of like, oh, baby.
I was listening the other day, as one does, to MFM. Their mini-sodes, which are my favorite, which are just mostly funny. People's stories, kind of like we do with Hometown Heroes. And someone wrote in about when they were a kid in the 80s, it was like a bad dad story, and he didn't tell her what the Jaws ride was about. And she was like 6, and they made her sit on the water side where the shark came out, and she was under the impression that everything that was happening was real. They're like, the boat's going down, what's going on? And absolutely scared the shit out of her. I love bad 80s and 90s parent stories.
Oh yeah,
Because I was a latchkey kid, as most of us were. And it's so relatable and hilarious.
I know Gen Z, that's why they're too soft these days.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Katie, have you ever heard the phrase, yum yum in the tum-tum?
Is this about Hero Bread?
Maybe.
And how Hero Bread supports healthy eating during the warm summer months.
Mm-hmm.
So you can enjoy ultra low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and high fiber while still maintaining use of the phrase yum yum in my tum tum.
You took the words right out of my mouth. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in your favorite bready meals guilt-free. We're talking bagels with schmear, breakfast sandwiches, burgers, and brats, complete with soft, fluffy buns.
You never know it's low net carb and high fiber bread from the texture. I'm telling you guys, get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love. Whether you're grilling seasonal favorites like burgers or packing fresh wraps for everyday lunches, Hero Bread has it all.
Picture this. It's warm out. It's summer. You're on the beach eating a sandwich with the most fluffy, delicious, scrumptious piece of bread you've ever had with no compromises, just flavor. That's Hero Bread for you. And is there anything better than a post-pool, post-beach sandwich?
No, it's insane. And the product range is also insane.
We love range.
They've got sliced bread, loaves, buns, tortillas, bagels, baked goods, and more. Plus our new favorites, the Hero Classic Plain Bagel with 4-gram net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and 19 grams of protein. And the Hero.
Oh my goodness. Tell me more.
And the Hero Everything Bagel with 5 grams of net carbs and 17 grams of protein.
I'm salivating just thinking about it. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code disrespectfully at checkout. That's disrespectfully at HERO.co.
This woman I follow named Pamela, I don't know her last name. I can't think of it right now.
Anderson?
No.
Oh, okay. Someone different. Got it.
She's very funny, but she was talking about why they're so conservative.
Oh, okay.
I just blanked on the word conservative. And it was just really, really interesting. Her take on it. I'm not going to quote the whole thing right now, but
It's surprising to me.
it just, yeah. And her reasoning behind it like made a lot of sense. Like they're very risk adverse. They don't want to take any risks. It's just, I don't know. I kind of like, I'm like, oh, thank God. Millennials might be the last, badass generation because everyone that's coming, the younger ones can't even read.
No, it's so scary. I see so many teachers sounding the alarms about what is happening in
Nick
schools
and I
right
were
now.
at Disneyland the other day. It was a Wednesday. Spring breaks are over. So many children. I'm like, this is why we don't stand a chance in the future because the kids are not in school learning a damn thing. They're at Disneyland eating churros.
And they're iPad kids, which I get, like, to an extent I get, but it is alarming to me the amount of teachers saying like, hey guys, and I get it. Part of it was because COVID. And so there was a lot of latency and things of that nature. But now it's like,
I wasn't exactly like solving world hunger and like, doing arithmetic in the third grade, but I sure as hell like could read and write perfectly fine. These days, these kids, I don't think they can.
No, it's very scary stuff.
It is alarming. But anyway, can I circle back on something?
Oh, we have 2 circle backs. So yes, what's your circle back?
So remember when I talked about my noisy neighbors upstairs?
Yes.
Someone had emailed and said this could potentially be like someone that's using like a walker or some type of like, device to help them get around. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, like that could be it, but also it sounds like they're moving a 100-pound table across the floor every 10 minutes. It's wild. And so I wrote a really nice letter that was just like, hey, I don't know if you're aware, maybe you are, but I just wanted to like gently bring this to your attention that there seems to be like a little bit of noise that is above like the regular. I've lived below people for the last, I don't know, what year is it? 5 years? No, 3.5 years. And I can tune out that noise. You're used to it. Like stuff happens, or sometimes someone's like moving some stuff around. But this is like every 15 minutes from 7 o'clock in the morning till sometimes 11 p.m. So anyway, I wrote this and I was just like, especially during the quiet hours, like I've been woken up wee hours, and at night when I'm trying to fall asleep, same thing. I get a letter back. Really nice man. He's like, I'm so sorry. I just want to give you a little context. I have 2 parents who are elderly that live upstairs. Both their health is ailing. They use a walker to get around, but I don't know why they should be making so much noise. I mean, the way he was describing it was that they're basically like in hospice care almost. So I'm like, okay, that gives a little bit of context, I suppose, but like what I'm hearing does not necessarily scream like ailing parents, you know.
Maybe the parents are trolling him and he leaves for the day and they party.
He's like, we've made some changes to help, you know, whatever. They have a caretaker that's going to come help them. I moved the dialysis to like, right?
Did you feel sad?
I felt so sad.
Oh God.
But at the end of the day, it has gotten worse. The noise has gotten worse.
Well,
and I don't, like, he left me his number, but what am I going to do? Like, hey, dude, like your parents are really, he's like, oh, the other thing he said, I don't know why there'd be late night noise. They're asleep by 8 o'clock. Sir, that is not, I don't know. Then there's a ghost. I don't know what to say. Like, it is so fucking loud at 10:30. What, someone dragging their fucking ass across the floor. Like, I don't know what to do.
No,
I don't know what to do.
This is giving that movie, Scary Movie X, with that girl's blue eyeshadow, when they like go find these really, really old people's farm. And then all of a sudden the old lady at night is walking around naked doing crazy things. I'm like, what's happening up there?
I know. I feel terrible because like he's going through a lot, and the, you know, caretakers, dialysis, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, but like, I'm just trying to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's 7 o'clock in the morning and I hear like what we hear upstairs sometimes is like, what should I hear? It's not exactly screaming like walker.
To give context, our studio where we record, the floor above us, it legitimately sounds like someone is chucking a safe several times a day. Like sometimes the crashes we hear up there, I'm like, are they playing tackle football? What the fuck
but
are
that's
you
what
doing up there?
That's what it's, I've tried to like record the sound so many times to get like to fully capture what it's like. But the problem is it's every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like 30 seconds of just chaotic noise upstairs. So it's not like it's like for an hour things are a little noisy. It's all fucking day long. These are very, very active people in their final days. I don't know what to say. And I hope I'm not sounding insensitive, but I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit.
Well, now you're
again, it's not just walking around. It's not like simple little, like maybe a door closed noises that I can pick out what they are that you tune out. This is so distracting, and it's kind of driving me mentally insane. So I don't know if anyone has any suggestions on what to do to, like, because I don't know.
I mean, you're in a bind. You do have the numbers, so you can see maybe give it some time, and then this is my DD. I'm like, I would say give it a little time and then reach out. Just do a gentle ping. But that's a Sophie's choice for you. I mean, hey, look, when I had Dead Mouse playing a fucking set every night at 3 a.m, we got those new neighbors, and it turned me into the broom lady that I never wanted to be. I understand. Yeah, I was cursing them. I didn't do any formal spells, but in my head, I was.
I'm busting Mr. Heckles. And just get a tennis ball and start, you know, from the hours when they're trying to sleep, you know, see how they like, you know, how annoying that is. Honestly, now it's war, is what I feel like.
Okay. Well, if you're activated, you're activated. I can't do anything.
I feel
to stop
activated because it's like I had all the sympathy, all the compassion. It was so quiet for like 2 days. I'm like, okay, wow, that was really great. No, now it's even worse.
Well, maybe they're just getting more rickety, and so they're making more mistakes. I don't know. I wonder. I walk like an elephant, so I always wonder how my neighbors feel. I can't help it. I've always walked on my heels. Speaking of my Sophie's choice this morning, sometimes I make a shoe selection. Do you relate to this? Where you pick a shoe based on the fact that you don't have to bend down. You just slip it on because you don't want your pants are already buttoned. Absolutely. And you guys aren't going to see this because we're luckily filming this way. My heels are still so scary from Coachella. I had to remove the callus that was the thickest, scariest thing I have ever experienced. Underneath it, new flesh that was even scarier. And so I have wounds. So I had to wait a few days to get a pedicure. So I'm going to try and go get one today because you know me, these toes are always taken care of. I never don't have a pedicure. Like I could be on death's door and I am having someone do my feet. And I chose a slide because I didn't want to be at a 90-degree angle at any point and I didn't want to bend down. So this is the shoe that I have chosen today. I have a circle back.
Circle back.
Let's see here. Speaking of Dead Mouse. So Dead Mouse, weekend 2 of Coachella, gave us 2 fantastic things that we can cherish. He was blacked the fuck out. He wasn't with Kate Tornado. He was with Zoo. And they were like, at least he DJs live because he wasn't on beat. Nothing was happening correct. He was so drunk, they made him stop his set. He was like swaying from side to side.
Iconic.
But then I saw another video and I sent it to you, and he had silly string and he was spraying Zoo with it, but in a way that was no longer fun for Zoo, I would imagine. Like, you can just tell he's so drunk and thought, this is a good idea. And silly stringed his ass. And in the morning, he posted a photo of just a water bottle and said, I do not remember anything. So to be at that point in your career and be that much of a slob kebab is so crazy to me, but like very funny to watch. It's like when the year before Grimes could not DJ and was the screams she scrumped that play in my head still. I'm so glad that happened because we get to have those memories. But yeah, he was crazy. And then I found out through more digging. So Quasar, that's where we went and saw Tiesto. There were these kind of like, I would describe them as boxes in a stadium, 25 grand a pop. And they were pretty far back, so I'm surprised by that. Now,
where was this? At Coachella?
At Coachella.
At a party?
Yeah, it was the Nobu activation or something. So it came
on the festival grounds?
Mm-hmm. At the Quasar stage, but it was so far back. So I don't love a box. I like to be in the thick of it. As
you
know.
like to be in the mix. I want to be
I don't
seat my ass in a seat.
I don't like that.
No one's next to me that I don't want next to me.
I want to be right in the business, but I just thought that was so interesting. So, I mean, if you're a very wealthy person and you don't care, or you have a group of people that can go in, it could be reasonable. But I was like, wow, 25 grand to sit that far back. I would hate that.
25 grand?
And I'm sorry, unpopular opinion. I do love sushi. I ate a bunch of it in Japan. I eat it here. Nobu in the desert with all the dust flying around and those temperatures, nothing about that sounds appealing to me.
It sounds like Parasite City.
Yeah, I'm like, do you want a little Vibrio?
Yeah.
Vibrio weekend too? No, thank you.
Fucking gross. So wait, they had sushi out?
Yeah, I think so. Or they were just going and sitting at little, I think they also did it where you could go sit and it was just an omakase for 45 minutes, but it was like $300. Again, I'm just like, at some point, you guys, we got to call a spade a spade. The other day, where was I that I purchased? Oh, it's my own fault. I went to Creation and I got a smoothie after Pilates because I didn't feel like making one, and I just gave myself a little treat. And it was 11 bones, which I thought was reasonable. If for LA, like, at Air One, they're like $19 to $25.
Yeah.
But I got a little wellness shot and I didn't look at the price. $9. It was delicious and tart. It said wellness. Did it really do anything for me? Probably not. But I was like, wow, I miss the days that a good wellness shot were like 3 to 4 bones.
Somewhere in other parts of the country, I'm sure.
Well, but now everything's getting so sky high.
Were they ever $3? I feel like they were always at least maybe $5 or $6.
Maybe 6. I don't know. 9 was just like shell shocked me.
Yeah.
And I'll spend $20 without blinking on a bottle of rosé. But yeah, I'm like, or a $25 glass of wine out. But yeah, I'm just saying, if you're out there noticing these prices, I mean, I've always been Larry David when it comes to gas prices.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always audibly talk about it. I'm like, $5.20 today. Look at that. And or I'm like, well, they went down. But now with all, it's expensive out there. Things are scary.
I don't like it.
Well, let's talk about positive things. Daddy list. First of all, your shirt is on my daddy list. Tell them about it. It says, don't touch my tuts.
Shout out to my friend Megan, who I got this shirt from.
And it has pharaohs on it.
Yeah.
So it's Egyptian.
King Tut.
Yep. Oh, that. A specific pharaoh. That's right.
2 tuts.
You got 2 tuts.
Okay, daddy list.
Who's on your daddy list?
I'm going to put 3 men on my daddy list.
Okay,
I know.
I'm already skeptical about this.
But because I am obsessed and addicted to watching TV, I'm consuming every freaking show that's out there.
When I die and look back at my life when they play it, and it's mostly television, I'm not going to have any regrets.
Bury me in my couch.
I love TV.
When I die.
When people don't like TV, I'm like, I don't get it. What's it not like?
What are you trying to prove? Like, I don't watch TV. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds unfun. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, what do you want me to be like, wow, you're so interesting. You probably have a lot of really interesting things to talk about. You probably talk about the most interesting things ever.
Probably.
Shut the fuck up. I'm going to talk about my TV shows. Okay, first I'm going to put Seth Rogen on. Okay, he is daddy. He's been daddy. He will always be daddy. So, but I started watching The Studio, and he is so fucking good in that. Giving Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, it's just, he is such a punisher in like not the good way, but I love that. So he's going on the daddy list. John Hamm going on the daddy list. He's in the new movie, Your Friends and Neighbors. Is it Your Friends and Neighbors or just Friends and Neighbors? I don't know. It's fucking great. John Hamm is fucking hot.
Yeah.
Like, he's hot. I don't know how old he is. It doesn't even matter. I love him.
Mm-mm.
And then finally, I'm going to put Penn Badgley on. I started You. It came out, whatever, yesterday. But I've been loving all of like the press and stuff that he's been doing. I've been seeing a lot of like social stuff with him. And he's just so damn likable. He's like cute and quirky and funny, like just naturally very funny. Yeah, he's kind of daddy. He's kind of hot.
Oh, are you kidding? There's a specific video. He has rhythm too. He has swag. He was like doing a dance with his friend years ago. I specifically remember it in my head for a video. And I'm like, no disrespect if he has a partner, I'm sure he does, but I would suck
Yeah,
that
he
dick.
does.
Yeah.
It's what's her face? Jemima Kirk's sister.
Lola Kirk?
No.
Her sister's name is Lola Kirk. You really confidently
Wait.
said no. Look it up. Let's see.
Who am I trying to think of? Her sister's name's Domino. So she has
Is there a
one,
Lola?
two,
Okay, so
three,
we're both
four
okay.
siblings.
Okay. Got it.
She's got Simone, Lola, Domino, and Greg.
Well, imagine being named Greg when those are your siblings.
Well, Greg is like
They're so
definitely
whimsical.
Greg Morris. He doesn't have this.
Oh,
Okay, so
different-
Domino is
Different
is
Papa.
who Penn is married to, and so they're having twins. She's pregnant with twins.
Well, congratulations to them. I take back my SD comment because I don't want to be disrespectful. But yeah, I know he's great. All of those are great. They can stay.
Yeah. So those are my daddies. Daddy's on the daddy list.
Daddy's on the daddy list. So today, I'm really putting that thing down, flipping it, and reversing it. I only have one basement, and it was hard for me to grasp. So maybe Earth is healing. Maybe it's a slow week. Well, besides all the other people that you guys know live constantly in my basement. I have 4 daddy lists.
Oh, it's a big week for daddies.
The first one is gross, but it's true, and it's a universal girlhood experience. When you take a big old poop before you have to get in a bikini.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you really need to just clear out the system.
from here to here, you just empty. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're gorgeous and you feel so good about yourself.
Yeah, don't be shocked when I show up skinny as fuck, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, good luck finding my waist. I just
Took
pooped.
me after having one salad.
So sorry to start it off uncouth. Sinners, the movie. We are going to talk about this.
yeah.
And I want to circle back on the studio because I started it because of you. A perfect cast, a perfect horror film. You guys know that me and Katie love that genre. I see them all. And people who are complaining about it's truly, I went into it
Fantastic.
without even seeing the trailer. So, and I'm a big trailer girl. So I didn't know what it was going to be about. And
I saw the trailer. It didn't tell you what it was about. I did not know there was going to be, spoiler, vampires. I loved it.
The cast, the music, the cinematography, we'll get to it. It ate. Get it? Like vampires eat people. I'm going to put Janiyah back on the daddy list because she has started her first tour. And we are very proud of her. She's killing it. Last night was her first show to kick it off in Houston. And if you haven't checked her out yet, please go listen to her music. I'm telling you, not just because I love Raleigh and she's Raleigh's artist, but she's going to blow up and is the next Beyonce. So I'm really proud of her.
Hell yeah.
She looked amazing, sounded amazing.
Congrats.
And then LD, you just remind me, I'm going to put Larry David back on my daddy list because he always stays there. But he wrote an op-ed for the New York Times called My Dinner with Adolf. And it was to troll Bill Maher, who is staunchly over the years a liberal person, has been vocal about his, being displeased about Trump. And then he went and had dinner with Trump and then was kind of essing his D. And so he comparatively wrote this satirical article. And he is just the funniest person alive. I was kicking my feet in bed reading it. So if you're looking for something to laugh about, I highly recommend.
I'm gonna read that. That sounds amazing.
It's
He's so good.
Why is he so funny?
I don't know, but so talking about the studio, do you get like Larry David vibes from Seth Rogen's character?
And you said I have 1 episode left, so I watched the first 4. Katie was right. This is a totally up my alley situation, and I needed a moment to breathe after subjecting myself
To Handmaid's Tale?
to Handmaid's Tale when no one asked me to do that. No one forced my hand, and now I'm just traumatized. It's so funny, and you were right about the stress and the tension about it, but he's so goddamn good. And I love when shows and movies, Entourage was like this, when they have a bunch of cameos of different famous people playing themselves and in this world of behind the scenes.
Like Zac Efron and
Olivia
Wilde.
Yeah. That scene was so goddamn funny.
But also the way it's shot.
Beautiful.
So many incredible camera shots. And, it's about a movie that is, it's about a studio that's making these big films. So
well, and you know what? I'm not ashamed to put this out there in big, but we know people who know Seth Rogen. He follows Katie. He loves Katie.
He doesn't follow me. He follows Tom Schwartz. He doesn't follow me on Instagram, but I did DM you, Seth. I did ask you to come on our podcast.
Seth, you need to get in the chair. We want you here, but I know he doesn't like to do a lot of press, but like, please,
Well,
don't make me beg.
we can talk about whatever you want.
There's so many things to talk about. We can talk about fun things. Maybe you guys can get high together. I think that'd be
I would
fun.
love that.
Smoke out in here. Let's talk about your pot brand, which I just sound like such a boomer, but he has those
Ashtrays.
ergonomical ashtrays, which I think we've
So
talked
cool.
about before, but highly recommend that show. It's so funny and everything about it is good. I love his best friend that is such a kooky, kind of Dana-esque, I would say, with the way he parties and is so like such a mess. I would say that was me a few years ago. His best friend in the show who he works with.
Oh, Ike.
Yeah.
What's Ike's last name? Ike something. That's his actual name. I don't remember his name on the show.
It's great. So we loved that. And then we both saw Sinners.
Mhm.
Tell me your thoughts about Sinners. I would say, and also it's a horror film, but it's not like scary. It's like a funny.
I call it
scary.
a thriller.
Yeah.
I thought it was, again, so a beautiful, beautiful movie. The cinematography was stunning. The cast, 5 stars. Like Michael B. Jordan. Whenever someone's gonna like play 2 characters and play twins, you're like, here we go. He's fucking incredible.
Totally. Besides, it hasn't been done well since Parent Trap.
Haley Steinfeld is so amazing. She's like so just like low key the fucking best. I love her.
Why
Everything she's in is great.
She's so pretty.
I know, right?
When I was watching it, I didn't even know that's who it was, and I looked it up
What?
after. I didn't even know who it was because she's a singer.
Yeah,
Isn't she mainly a
she
singer?
was in Pitch Perfect 2, guys.
Well, we talked about this. I never seen it, so.
But yeah, she like I feel like her and like Zendaya are like both like, you know,
Ethereal beauty.
yeah,
I was like,
so
oh my God.
multi-talented, like
Mhm.
acting, singing. I don't know if they can dance. I bet they can. Just seems like
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And just like really good at all of those things. I'm really jealous.
Also, when spoiler alert, when he's like, "You're drooling," and she's like, "You want some?" and then spits in his mouth, I was like, "Oof."
I know. Trust me. I turned to Nick. I was like, and I smiled. I was like, you want some?
Also, Wunmi Mosaku, we really need to give her flowers. So
Mhm.
while I was watching it, I think we've discussed this before. Did you watch Lovecraft Country?
No.
So I watched it. I remember it was pandemic. It gives me pandemic vibes. So I think it was in 2020, and it was a sci-fi thriller based in partially the South, and racism is a big theme. So there were a lot of parallels. So as I was watching it, I was like, this reminds me of Lovecraft Country, and I love that show is great. And it only had 1 season, and I was really upset about it because I think it was supposed to have multiple. She was in that, and she was a shining star in that too. And it just the performance, everything, and she really to me was the backbone of in terms of the sci-fi and her knowledge of vampires and whatever, like really contributed to the film. So I loved it.
Hell yeah.
So that's my thoughts on Sinners.
Yeah, I loved it. I liked how I wasn't prepared for like the second half of the movie. That musical like scene that they had was amazing.
All of a sudden,
I'm not prepared for it.
It's a Dark Ages meets right now today musical jig, an Irish jig, and all of a sudden in the theaters, I'm wanting to pussy pop on a handstand during the scene. I'm like,
Yeah.
the music is so good.
good.
And at first, the devilly main character guy wasn't at all interested in him. But then when his teeth came out and the music was playing, drool and all, I was like, raw next, all of you, like this whole cast. I'm like, all of you are so hot.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. And then, well, apparently, did you stay all the way after the credits? Because there was more.
Okay, so
I didn't see that.
When they walk in to see him, there was something past that.
Yeah.
Okay, I was with Monica and Mackenzie, and I told them that. I was like, this doesn't seem like post credits. That was barely even the credits. And I was like, lots of people are sitting. We should stay. So no, we didn't stay. What do you know what it is?
No, Fleur told me that it was basically something about Sammy playing in his dad's church, playing guitar. I don't know. But I love that. I did love the extended scene there where they had Buddy Guy come and like, yeah, that was worth it.
Love them in the 90s. They're so hot.
Yeah.
Hansel, he's so hot right now. So that was Sinners. Something else I guess we could put on the daddy list is George Santos was charged to 87 months in prison. And I just think it's so funny. If you recall, he was a loser, liar, fraudster that weaseled his way into Congress and was a Republican who was talking mad shit about drag queens when he was a drag queen.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Wait, his drag name?
Can we also, how many years is 87 or 80 whatever months? It's like
we should ask a mom because they're always like, my
when
child's
mom's like,
163 months
they're
old.
23 months. What?
7 years.
Okay, just why can't they just say 7 years?
We don't know. His drag name was Katara Revanche. I don't know. It's just such poetic justice. Love that he's going to jail. We love someone who's just a liar in general, but the deviousness of being a drag queen and then being vocal, trying to perpetuate a dangerous stigma to drag queens is just such silly goose behavior.
Can they do just like more of that?
To the jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love it. We love to see it. So anywho, I loved watching him. Honestly, his commitment to the bit, even after he was caught and whatever, he's a good wordsmith. I'll give him that. He's skilled in what he does. And he convinced a bunch of people to give him a bunch of money that he then laundered or something of that nature, wire fraud. But yeah, that just made me giggle this morning.
Yeah.
I thought it was
a
funny.
bright spot in today.
Not to be a boomer, but I
What?
need to ask you something because I feel scared about this.
A boomer or a bummer?
Both. But a boomer, mostly
okay.
a boomer. How do you feel about as AI becomes more of our life? How do you feel about your ability to differentiate what is real and what is not?
I can't because I see so many cute like puppy videos or little tiny piglet videos, and like Nick will be like, "That's not real. That's AI," and I'm like, "Oh, it looks so real," and I really wish it was real. You know, I'll just live in AI. It's a lot prettier there. Sometimes there's people with extra limbs, but like
I know.
think
I'm
I
like,
prefer
your
it.
feet are making me feel unsettled and not in the normal way that I just don't like feet. And there's a reason for that. Why do you have so many toes? And then it takes that for me to realize.
I feel like AI is just another dimension.
Truly.
It is another dimension where like that's just what the fuck things look like.
Well, I don't know how you feel at home, but I was judgmental. Okay.
I love AI.
As I am. No, I'm a hater, an AI hater because of how it is ruining the planet and because of these things I'm about to bring up. I was like, oh, I'll always be able to tell. And there's one gal who does a series about, she's like, which one's real and fake? And then she'll like walk out and show which one is AI. And it was unsettling to me. And then I saw this, someone posted a photo at Yellowstone and there were like 1,000 grizzly bears laying on the street. And it was like, grizzly bears come out to protest. And
You didn't even question it?
Didn't even question it. And then someone was like, this is AI. And then I went back and looked at the photo and the grizzly bears were like morphed with their heads together farther back. And I was like, oh my God. But then
is it cake?
Yeah. And
is it cake?
I also, those videos make me mad too, because I always get it wrong on a 50-50. I always do. So then there was this guy who did a video about a lawnmower business and how he got arrested because he was fixing this lady's sidewalk for free and the courts were trying to take her land or something. And this police came up and they used AI. It was a real clip that happened, but they used AI to change the voice and whatever. I reposted it because I was like, this is wrong. And then some other lawnmower guy was like, hey, that didn't happen. And I went to go unrepost it because I was so ashamed. And because we know that reposting is a hobby of mine. And the person privated their account because they got caught. And I was like, oh my God. However, I do think it was a wake up call. And I think we all need to take a breath and take a look at what we are ingesting and question it.
Well, here's the thing. People's media literacy is at an all-time low. People believe everything they read. They believe everything they see. They don't even fact check. They don't even use critical thinking. They're immediately just retweet. I heard they just parrot the information, whether it's true, whether it's not, whether it's AI. So I just think people need to just understand that what you're seeing isn't necessarily always the truth. What you're reading isn't always the truth across the fucking board. So I just think we do need to wake up. We do need to understand it. Listen, I only want AI when it's like you're showing me the baby version of the cast of Half-Baked or The Office or anything like that.
Yes.
That shit is joyful and not harmful.
Baby Stanley or bust, besides what it's doing to the planet, but not to be that person. There was another one. This is terrifying. So, and that was the first time I had done that because usually if I see something, I jump off. It takes 2 seconds, go to Goog, and I check something out and you can usually dispel it. But unfortunately,
Google's AI will correct me.
People are in a vacuum right now of misinformation. It has been for years. But this gal, she looked so real. Had her do this whole speech and was like, do you think I can't remember what her name was, but then the real her came out and stood next to the fake her. And people are doing deep fakes of porn. Mm-hmm. And I know that's been on the rise, but that is so scary.
Well, it's especially
to me.
alarming too when they have access to children online that they can do this kind of stuff with. Like that is really terrifying. And I don't even want to get into that. We just can imagine. But
no, it's so dark, which is why we hate family vloggers and all that shit. And please be very wary about sharing your children online. It's so scary. But yeah, I'm like, what is this world? What are we doing?
I don't know, but that's hilarious that you I retweeted it.
Oh my God.
Or reposted it, whatever it is.
No, I was like, please arrest me. Take me to jail.
Well, this also reminds me of something else I was going to ask you about. Like, what are things that are embarrassing that shouldn't be?
Oh, I mean, I deserve, that's the most embarrassing.
Okay, but I'm saying, but I don't know. It's like whatever. People forgot about it. It was over with.
It's going to make me twitch at night for a few weeks. What Give me an example.
Like walking across the street on a crosswalk. I feel like everyone in the city is staring at me.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't be. I don't know. Just like, or when you're ordering like stuff from a hot bar. I don't know why. I get embarrassed telling them what I want.
Well, it's because you look at dork. That's why. In the
I do.
crosswalk, dork. It's like, okay, you nerd.
I don't.
Can't just jaywalk.
But do you know what I'm talking about? Like those types of things. Like I was going to ask you, what are things that you feel embarrassed about that you shouldn't?
Things I feel embarrassed about but shouldn't. I mean, no, that's so true. It kind of, you give yourself the ick.
Yeah.
I don't know if this would count as one, but this is a common occurrence, and I wonder if other people feel this way. I want these things in the basement. What the fuck? What purpose does it serve to have an industrial strength fan over the sliding glass doors at grocery stores? First of all, I already have dry eyes. Second of all, I walk in and I do this every time. Before I even go under, I blink and I have butthole eyes because I am preparing for the blow. And I'm like, why is that there? But
I don't know. What is that?
If someone
knows, can you please let us know why they blast you?
I'm sure we can Google it. I worked in a grocery store, but it's been so many years I couldn't tell you, and I didn't get the tea on the blowy thing. But I am sick to death of it. Why do we have it? But that look, and other people, I feel like just walk in. Those are our most powerful people, I would say. I bet they sleep at night too. They just walk right in with uninterrupted, and I look like that. No, thank you. What are some other ones that you have?
Oh, the biggest one is after you bowl. Like, what do you do? Do you turn around? Do you walk back? Do you wait?
So
I don't know what to do with my hands ever. So like, that's a big problem.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was going to bring up bowling, and there's a lot of opportunities to look that way during bowling. I have a specific pose that I go into, and it's my right foot slides back, and I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. I just feel like I get more strikes when I do this because I am weirdly a good bowler. I hold that position, but then you then turn around and just have to face everyone after you do that. And you're just looking at all the other people.
And you're like, were they looking at my butt? Were they looking at the way I threw the ball? Were they like, I don't know, probably looking at everything. I mean, I've definitely like, I'm not checking people out, but you're noticing things about them.
Yeah. I got the ick once. I've talked about it on this, and it's actually where I learned what an ick was a few years ago when I was going out with that guy, and he had those baby shoes, and then he literally ran with his little Fred Flintstone's tinker feet up and bowled, and I immediately was like, get me out of here.
Here's another one. Getting out of a pool.
Okay, we're kind of like, because I was like dipping your toes in to check it out. Like there are so many things. Getting out of a pool, it just looks bad. And also sometimes you're like slippery, so you're kind of doing this. What is that about? Also,
this one's too, like when you're hungry, but you don't want to tell someone you're hungry.
I can't relate to that one because I make that everyone's problem. But
like, let's say you're like, I don't know, like what is anyone else hungry? Like, can we do that right now? You know, like usually like in a position where it's like not like, hey, I'm at your house, so let me get a snack. It's like
complimentary to that would be eating when other people aren't eating. I'm very insecure because I chew like a cow. I mean, my mouth is closed, but it's so loud. It's like a rave happening in there. It's like my old upstairs neighbor.
You eat the fastest I've ever seen anyone eat. Like
I was gonna say,
you don't even taste your food. You just inhale it. One time I decided to share something with you, and that was regretful because I felt like I was going to choke.
I'm not getting into this with you again because I separated the piles, so it didn't really matter what the pace at which I was eating. I was like, mind your business. It was
we
the
were
fish
eating
and
off the
chips.
same plate.
Yeah, and I'm not going to take someone else's supply.
I was worried about it.
Okay,
I was a little worried that you might try to snatch mine.
Well, those are your own problem. That was the fucking fish and chips in London. Remind me to never get fish and chips with you again in my fucking life. But
we ordered another order, so it was fine.
I did end up being hungrier than I thought, but I will say I do hoover my food, and it actually runs in my family. My what's his name has a flappy thing that he chokes sometimes. So because the flap doesn't work over his lungs, and I'm worried that I am going to get. And you're supposed to chew an amount of time.
That's what butter has, and that's why he goes.
I have a 3-bite minimum, and it's like every time, even when I'm not that hungry. And it's same thing with drinking. I just do everything quickly, but I know I chew loud, and I'm so insecure about it. And when I was watching Lord of the Rings with Floor, I brought over the weirdest compilation of snacks that you have ever seen. I brought Clamato. I brought Pringles. I brought Ruffles chips with this gross.
That is the bad breath combination.
Oh, yeah. Sour cream and onion dip.
What the fuck?
The one that's in the green tub. It's like Dave's or something, and it's disgusting, but I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah. No,
Cheez-Its.
the French. Dean's?
Yeah.
Dean's French onion dip. Fucking
delicious.
I would sit on it.
Lawakers wafer cookies. They're really good. They're from Italy or something, but they are melt in your mouth delicious. And these weird macadamia nut cookies. And because I was just like, well, this is my dinner, and Hot Pocket, which is what I had for dinner. And then those were my
So
desserts.
nothing for Fleur.
No. On the way, I was like, I like looked at the Pringles can. She's like, they're not gluten free, but her tummy wasn't feeling well. So I asked her, I was like, do you want anything? But I had a smorgasbord, and I got the loudest snacks you could possibly. I got no quiet snacks, even down to the opening them. I would say opening food, embarrassing, humiliating.
Oh yeah, trying to get a snack in the movie theater with like a bag of bags.
But then there are the people that are disrespectful that didn't. I saw yesterday someone smuggled in 2 large Pizza Hut pizzas into a movie theater, and they didn't make them into like a calzone you shove in your purse.
What did they have?
They literally brought a scarf and hung it over the pizza boxes. And no one said anything. And I'm like, okay, kudos to you. But I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna like shove it in their pants or make it look. And also, not to shame, because I have taken down a medium in 2 seconds flat. But there was only 2 people there. So I was like, why do you guys need 2 pizzas for a 2-hour movie? I'm confused. And they didn't bring any ranch, which was disgusting to me. But they brought it in with a scarf and like it was a Birkin bag.
I'm choking.
You're choking. Embarrassing.
I know. This was embarrassing.
Yeah. The little man in your
Having
throat
to
is
clear
weird.
your throat is embarrassing.
Having to
Sorry.
sneeze, humiliating. What is that about? When you can't, when you having to sneeze when you can't and looking at the ceiling like this.
What
What the fuck is that?
2 large pizzas is crazy work. I thought it was crazy when these 3 girls all brought in foot long fucking Jersey mics, and they had their Stanleys.
Also, you could put booze in that. No one has a problem. I once got a shakedown at my college movie theater because I had king size candy bars, but in a giant purse. And for some reason, they searched my bag, and my friend was like, "Don't worry, there's just candy in there." And I looked at her like this. So apparently you can bring in your Rolls Royce and a charcuterie board, and no one cares.
Yeah, you can bring in a salad bar.
That's like the chick from Scary Movie, Brenda, Queen, icon, legend, daddy list, who brings in a whole meal. She's like, oh, that was some scary shit.
dude. But the AMC is getting a little crazy with their food selections. Why is there like brisket sliders on the menu? Don't bring
No
us
one asked for this.
stinky-
We have talked about this.
stinky.
I should be curating their candy. The candy selection is bullshit, so I do try to remember to grab a Snickers or something on my way. It's
when I
not
see
been
like
happening lately.
skinny dipped almonds, I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
What is this? And I feel like you're gonna like these, but the cookie dough bites, the Raisinets,
I don't like cookie dough bites. I've never had a cookie dough. I like the. I do
ice
like.
cream.
What is the crunch? Bunch of crunch. Bunch of
Yeah,
crunch
those
is
are
so
fine.
good.
That's classic. But AMC is just really screwing the
They
pooch.
got bacon burgers on their menu. What are
Oh.
you doing?
Here's another thing that pissed me off. I paid $7.90, and I am an A-lister to be treated this way at AMC
Mm.
for a small pop. And they were like, well, you can upgrade for free, which is true. I can get a medium. I don't need a pop twice the size of this hot dog vase, okay? That's the thing.
Bladder
I
buster.
don't want to waste it, and I don't need that much pop. The small is already big. So if
Yeah.
you're sharing it, whatever. Back to the yawning, the needing to sneeze thing. Is there anything grosser than when you need to yawn and you're in the middle of a conversation and you don't want to seem rude, so you go, you make the most disgusting face possible.
No, I just yawn and I'm like, I'm sorry. You're not boring me. I'm just tired. all
Oh,
the time.
I make the face, and it's also like when you spit on someone's face when you're talking and you're like miserable about it,
Also,
and you want to acknowledge it.
Why is it embarrassing to tell someone they have a booger or something in their
teeth? It shouldn't be embarrassing.
Because the thing is, like, you sometimes like, oh, I should tell them, and then I'm like, wait, it's been like 5 minutes. I haven't said. Now I can't say anything.
Or when you have bad breath, someone has bad breath, and I
don't think I've ever been able to tell anyone that.
No, it's brutal, and it's someone. A comedian once was like, "What are you supposed to do? Be like, hey, you want to and let's go brush our teeth." But all of those things, I
Or
would
when
say,
someone offers you gum, you're like, does my breath stink? They're like, no, and then you're like,
probably does.
my breath be boofing right now. I know that.
I just think the Yanni thing, I'm really guilty of that, but it's also brutal when you're watching someone else do that and you're just trying not to be rude, and it's even ruder. And then also when you yawn and someone's like, am I boring you? And I want to be like, kind of. I'm also exhausted. I haven't slept in 4
Also,
years.
You've been talking for 5 minutes straight. What do you think? When you do that, when Nick yawns, I say big yawn, and then I stick my finger in his mouth.
Oh, I always stick my finger in Lazo's mouth. But I do it horizontally, and it surprises her every time. all of those things are awful to experience, but then also be on the other. When someone has a big ass piece of spinach, I know they're like, you're not a good friend. I'll tell my really close friends, but when you're on a date, there is nothing worse.
Also, eating on a date is just embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Why do you want to go to dinner? Let's go do something else.
And the thing is like, I am not a very pretty eater, and I love to eat, and I love food and stuff like that. So that's something like someone eventually finds out about me, and I know that. I know that's coming. I know that like this cute little like I'm gonna have a few bites of this, and then 3 glasses of wine is not gonna, the wine. Yes, but the food is like, no. So it's like,
Katie, hello. I was just telling you, I look and sound like I'm eating cud. So do you think I like, perhaps it's why I'm still single. I'm like, I don't, like, what the fuck? It's such bullshit.
You also scrape the plate.
Oh, God.
And it makes my bones hurt.
You're sensitive to that. But
I know, but that's, oh my God, I'm putting that in my basement. When you're in a restaurant and someone's,
well, we'll get to that.
My brain vibrates. I feel like it paralyzes me.
I will say, because I have a few butterflies in my basket, on a first date, I'm always just anxious because what if it's awkward? They don't like you, you don't like them, which is much more my fear and much more my experience. I don't really want to eat other.
No.
So, and then they're like, oh, you don't eat? I'm like, oh no, I eat like a pig, but I'm just not feeling this right now.
I've been not able to eat on 100% of my first dates.
Yeah. And I get it. It's like, so then what are you supposed to do? Because I don't want to see you bowl. I need to try and like you first because that's a risk. I'm like, there's just so many ways to be bothered by another person.
Amen.
It's just devastating. It's really hard out there.
I agree fully.
I mean, we can get to the basement. For some reason, I feel like I'm ready to tell my horrible love bombing story that happened last November.
Do you want to tell this in this episode or Friday?
Yeah, let's save it for Dub.
Yeah, you're going to have to come back and listen to that.
Let's save that for Friday. I feel like I'm ready to finally talk about it. It was really dark, and I want to hear what the court of public opinion has to say about it. I feel like all my friends who are not yes people, because I do not associate with yes people, have been like, that person was mentally insane, and, it is what it is. But yeah, should we get to some basement?
Let's do it.
I just added one over this conversation, but this was a light week for me, as I said. I will say, when you have gone back in time and a show has played out and you are excited to binge the whole thing, but then you realize you get caught up. So this just happened with Handmaid's Tale. I thought it was all out. It progressively got more satisfying to watch for different reasons. If you have watched Handmaid's Tale, season 4, episode 10, best season finale, one of the best I've ever seen. The bloody satisfaction. I loved it. But I'm now caught up and I'm like, so what am I supposed to do with my time? Pace around and watch ER. ER has become my filler. So I switched to the studio as a little palate cleanser. But then also bowlers who do not follow the common decency and the bowler rules. So when I'm going to bowl and someone goes at the same time, I will always stop and do a total 90-degree turn and stare at them. And I'll go polite with my hand, and then I'm going to stare at you until you bowl. If you don't know, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Not etiquette. The bowling etiquette. When someone is bowling, you have to wait until they bowls. But if you go at the same time, like, what are we, a fucking Olsen twin? Get out of my face.
This isn't a Double Mint commercial.
No, go away. That's my basement. Who's yours?
Okay, basement this week. Waiting in lines. I really just at Disneyland. I discovered I fucking hate waiting in lines. I can't do it. I'm not patient at all. Waiting for an elevator. The elevator in this building. Fuck that elevator. Like, waiting. Just waiting, standing and waiting. I can't do that. I don't want to. I have no problem with the sedentary lifestyle of like sitting on a couch and literally barely moving. But when it comes to like having just to stand in a line.
I mean, my slow ass elevator, sometimes I wonder if it's being pulled up by Victorian men. I'm like, what is going on here? Why is this so slow?
Yeah. Okay. And then springtime weather specifically. Okay, yeah, springtime weather, because what the fuck? Honestly, what the fuck? And I know it every year, and I'm never like, it always still catches me off guard how it can be 80 degrees and then an hour later it's 50 degrees. Springtime is great because it feels invigorating. It's like summer is coming, the days start getting longer, but the weather cannot figure itself out. And I hate it. I don't know how to dress for it. And there's nothing more than inclement weather that I don't know how to dress for. There's nothing worse.
Well, and I will say, I think the people that don't live in California and are in Nebraska freezing their dick off right now are going to disagree with this, just because in those places where it's more hostile climate when it gets to springtime for them. It's so exciting. But I agree with you.
Yeah, because it just gets progressively warmer wherever you are. Not true. When I remember growing up, sometimes we get random like snow in May. It would like not snow for like 2 months and then we get random snow and we feel cold. That really fucked with me. I think I've just like really just don't trust it.
Yeah,
mostly.
I agree with that.
I think I had another basement, but I can't remember.
Well, this is the episode of positivity. We're just really positive people. I will say, Will, while this episode is airing, where you're listening to, where are you in the world? You're somewhere. You're traveling. You're on tour.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, where are you going?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, you're here. You're back. Or
no, I'm just here still.
Oh, okay. Well, as you're listening to this, I'm just getting back from Vegas, which is fun.
And you had a wonderful time, I'm sure.
I had a great time. Me and Raleigh hung out with her parents and Granny. We love hanging out with Granny. She loves to gamble. They live in Toronto, so we love to get her out here.
Love
She's
it.
a tough old bird. And then by the time you're listening to this, it's the day before Beyonce, and I am unable to sleep because I am mentally ill and excited.
It's Christmas.
Difficult combination. I am going to need you all to come to my Instagram and gas me up because I'm excited about my outfit. And, you know, this is as important to me as Coachella in terms of outfits. And I have been seeing on my feed, Renaissance is coming back up, and it's like a contact high of just seeing the videos of her last tour. I'm so excited. And my sister and her best friend are coming into town to escort me and to also enjoy. And next week, we have 2 very special guests. And on the Wednesday episode and the Friday, we're doing our first guest on Dub Dub DD, which will be fun. And we're excited to jazz things up.
We're not going to say who the guest is?
No.
Surprise.
So next week, you're just hearing us. Hi, we love you.
But
and
you're going to be really excited about this one.
Yeah. Both of them are great. So we're very excited.
Big fan and friend of the pod.
Yep. Huge fan. Big number 1 fan. Big. Okay, I guess we should leave. So anywho, that's that on that. You guys have a wonderful day.
Yeah, I love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women. Like, disrespectfully.